What's going on, everybody? My name is Muna, coming to you live from all the way over here in Boston, Massachusetts. You're tuned in live to the Jam interview, presented by none other than the Jam Company.
So as always, the
Yes,
first
sir.
question is, what's your story?
Man, Jamal, first and foremost, I want to say thank you again, brother, for this wonderful opportunity. I was able to interview with you last year, and to be back on it again and seeing the new improvements and everything, man, it's amazing, bro. But as far as my story, I was born in Zimbabwe, Harare, Zimbabwe. I came to this country when I was 2 years old. Me and my mom. Lived in Massachusetts for a good majority of my life, a good 22 years of my life, predominantly in Waltham, Massachusetts. Just regular kid, man, regular 24-year-old young man. Love hip hop music, love jazz music, love just different genres of music. I consider myself a student of music, almost like.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to graduate college soon.
Yes, sir.
My story is very vast. It's very vast. So it's all over the
Congratulations,
place.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
As to yourself, fellow graduate as well.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice.
So I know we were just talking about this earlier. You talking about how you're from Zimbabwe.
That's right. Yep.
Could you talk about some of the misconceptions that most people get?
That's a great question, and I'd be happy to talk about it because I feel like misconceptions of areas they it's not just Africa. Like
Right.
it's so many different places. You could be from Chicago and people say that you could be completely educated, across the board, clean cut. As soon as you go in for the interview, you're from the South Side of Chicago. Oh, you must have it really hard. Or
Right.
you must have boarded houses and boarded windows. So I feel like as people of color, we're always gonna be like that. It's always gonna where we come from, where we live. It's always gonna be a false representation of who we are. But my suggestion, not only for Zimbabwe and just people like in this situation, is like you know yourself, you represent where you come from, and how you represent yourself, that should dictate where you come from. So in Zimbabwe, it's the same thing, same exact thing.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that one.
Thank you.
So like, what you been up to, man? It's been a year.
Man, I've been going through a whole lot of things, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But like as far as the big thing for me right now, graduating from Salem State from here on Saturday with a psychology degree. It's been a long 6 years. I never even thought I would get to this point. Truthfully honest with you, and many times just wanting to give up, but I'm just so thankful to be in this position right now. And obviously new music coming out soon. I've been in the creative process right now, just been writing, putting beats together. I've been producing as well, and I'm sonically I'm comfortable with how it sounds,
Okay.
but I just needs to be masters and things like that. And I'll also have like outside people hear the beats and my production. But as far as creatively goes, I'm still making music, still trying to be creative as possible, and
Okay.
keep the dream alive.
So you saying that you were kind of struggling,
Oh, yeah.
throughout your college career.
Oh yeah.
What's kept you going?
I think my faith in God has kept me going. My mom. I feel like a lot of times people we do this, but I feel like myself too. Like I feel like my will and my want is what kept me going as well, and also a majority too of like my friends and loved ones around me. Good support system.
It's dope, man. I think having that support system, and having that spirituality
Oh, yes.
and that internal those internal mechanisms to be able to help you is
Absolutely.
very important.
Oh yeah, very very
Struggling through 4 years, especially something new,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
new for you. Just being able to do that,
Oh yeah.
yeah, most definitely. I've seen a lot of growth from
Oh,
you.
thank you, Jamal. Thank you, man.
And you
Learn from the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You're most definitely a young king,
Oh, thank you,
young
man.
god in the making.
I appreciate it,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Appreciate it, boss.
Yeah. So, what kind of challenges are you like looking forward to taking on, and like how are you making sure that you're gonna, overcome those?
So, as far as like challenges and how I've learned to cope with challenges, a good friend of mine, Chris Joyce, he passed away two weekends ago, 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. He was very resilient. He was very like a resilient young man, and coming from the neighborhood he came from, and to have the want to do better and the want to be better,
Right.
that 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 should be embedded in the heart of everybody. But like I think for certain people, it becomes like it becomes a necessity, you know. It becomes a necessity to do better. So I think that's the challenge that I'm looking forward to, and just the challenge of looking for jobs and doing all that stuff, but then also that same want to just do better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, what do you find, I guess, the most satisfying in terms of uh, making your music? Like, what part of making music makes you the most satisfied with? Is it the writing? Is it the production?
I think honestly, I think it's the culmination of everything. Cause like I'll be say like so say for instance, I'll think in my mind, all right, what's the name of? Cause I work backwards. Like I
Okay.
work backwards with my albums. Like I pick the title first, the concept, the beat, and then write, and then that's how it's all done. But for me, it's a culmination of so many different things. Like if I think of a title and I like the title,
Yeah.
that's a spark plug right there. If I'm listening to beats and there's like a beat that's just I need it, and it's like colors. It's like
Yeah.
like ultra lights. Like
Yeah.
if it's that sort of vibe, that part of it too. If I'm writing a lyric, I'm writing a bar, and and if I surprise myself, then I know like wow, okay, it's everything's coming together. You know, the building's coming together. So I think as far as my music, there's no one piece that's like the fulfilling feeling almost like, but I think it's the culmination of everything coming together. The shows, the performances, the interviews, things like that. Like that's what keeps everything going.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad you like take the entire experience.
Oh yeah.
Is there something that you're always trying to improve on, or is there something that you think that you have like a weak spot on that you're trying to focus
Yeah.
your attention onto that?
I'll be honest with you, Jamal. The Boston music scene, it's very, it's very tough. I think, in all honesty, I think it's tougher than New York,
Yeah.
if you want my honest opinion, because you have all these outlets, and I'm not trying to discredit any outlet or anything like that, but you have all these outlets who I've worked with in the past. They've contacted me, they've worked with me in the past. But once the scene changes, they change.
Yeah.
So now it's no longer, oh, you were dope then, but now this is what we're working with now. So it's like that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest just trying to reach people and like really like hold them forever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because Boston is terrible at that. It's awful at that. In my honest opinion, like
Yeah, I had this conversation
Mhm.
with do you know Chiz Capo?
yes, I know Capo. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
Shout
I
out
was
to-
having the same conversation with him, talking about how there's not really a space for hip hop artists in Boston.
Oh no, and I feel like there is a space. There definitely is a space, but like you have to. This is just my honest opinion. You have to be from that area, and you have to be from Boston. You have to have gone to O'Brien, or you have to have gone to a high school with. You have to have been a part of Boston public school system. People have to know you. People have to understand who you are, where you come from first. Then we'll certify you. I feel like you can't be like. There's so many dope artists outside of Boston that like a lot of these other like these like I don't want to say names, but like a lot of these other sources they don't tap into because they don't know them or they're not from the beam. We're trying to do this. No, man, no. This is Massachusetts. You think Atlanta says, "Oh, this is only a Zone 6 thing"?
Right,
No,
yeah.
this is a Georgia thing. This is a complete Georgia thing. So if she's dope, we have to put her on for the sake of Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. I hate to. I'm sorry to be so
No.
passionate about this, but
No,
just
yeah.
I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen people switch up, and it's disgusting, honestly, bro. It's really disgusting, but
No, yeah, we most definitely need passion like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
especially in particular things like that because
Mhm.
it's not really giving everybody the access
Mhm.
that that they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
man.
if I could say like Dutch Rebel, shout out to Dutch Rebel. She actually came here too, and I met her for the first time. Um, she's a dope female artist. When I say female, like female is it's just like it's just because that's what she is. But she can keep up with the best of them to the point like Double XL even noticed her.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like she was kind of undershadowed by like a lot of other cats who were coming in because yeah, you're dope and yeah, we ride with you, but the wave is going this way. So we appreciate you making music for Massachusetts,
Right.
but the wave is going this way. So we just gonna go with what the wave is going. That's the it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life because they talk about all this support, but then it's like we want to support you if you're hot.
Right.
And even if you're hot right now, tomorrow mumble rap could be all over Boston.
Right.
But because you're not mumble rap, we want to go with the scene's going with now because that's Boston. We just, nah, man. It's nonsense in my opinion. Nonsense.
Man. So how could you, I guess, potentially be a part of that change?
Oh, bro. Like me, what I do is, and like I post a lot of rappers like on my Instagram pages. If I hear something I like that's dope, I will post you.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with me trying to gain your fandom. No, because to be truthfully honest, I don't even know what your fans are. I don't know who your fans. I don't know what your demographic is. I don't even know if we even talk about the same content.
Right.
But if your song made me feel something, I have to show it because not to toot my own horn, but like I've been fortunate enough to at least have people who I consider like true fans. So if I show them something, they are like, yo, Muna said this dude's dope. I'm gonna listen to him a little bit. And that's what every Boston artist, Cousin Stiz does a great job at that. Millie's, they do a great job at that. Like shout out to those guys because those are like the pioneers right now, the ones that are up there. But Michael Christmas, not Michael Christmas, Michael Christmas, Dutch Rebel, Lotus, all my like there's so many Boston artists I think of. But if everybody does that, we're forcing these radio people, we're forcing these blog sites, we're forcing all these Boston mainstream people to listen.
Right.
Because the person who you said was dope said this person's dope. So now what you gonna do?
Right.
You still gonna go with that wave? Or you gonna listen to like I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but that's how I would change it. That's how I contribute to the culture.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, you most definitely. You are passionate about this.
I'm sorry, but it's just because I've been doing this since I was 13 years old, Jim Roll, and like I feel like I've heard from people. Like I performed at the Middle East. I've opened up for Millie's. I've had so many wonderful blessings, through the city of Boston as a kid from Waltham who had no financial backing, no anything. I used to record in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And these same people who said I was dope, these same people who said like, oh, yo, man, yo, Muna, bro, you in a class of your own. When I put out The Village Boy, when I put out something else, or when an artist who I think is dope puts out a project and they don't get their shine, it's like, so what was that? Was that cap? Was that all talk? Or like, are you really for this Massachusetts movement that we're doing? Because it's 2018.
Yeah.
It's 2018, and we only have two mainstream Boston artists, Cousin Stiz and Millie's, and there's thousands of dope other artists who we need to be putting up there. Not even including myself, but just across the state,
Absolutely. Do you think like there should be like an established record label here that could potentially do that? Because like in Atlanta they have
quality control.
Yeah, quality control
Yeah.
And what else is
Atlantic Records.
Atlantic Records is
over there and like things like that. Like I would love to see that happen, but only if the right people were in charge of those things. Because you could give that power, that industry corporate power to the same guys who are doing the same thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
So then now you only have one artist on one label because this is what the wave is saying. So we want to keep Boston. We want to keep we want to keep everything going. So if there was to be a record label, I would love to see like a community of people. I would love to see like Millie's camp. I would love to see Dutch's camp. I would love to see Cousin Stiz's camp, potentially my camp, maybe DC, another dope rapper from Massachusetts. Like all of us, if there was a way we could collectively come up with a foundation or a found sound sort of industry plug.
Yeah, like a collective.
Collective together, and call it Mass Records or whatever it's gonna be named. Then that's how we'd go about it. But we can't have one guy, one Leor Cohen
Right, yeah.
taking over
Yeah.
Massachusetts hip hop, because no one's gonna eat. No one's gonna get what they deserve, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And Massachusetts, is a huge state.
Yeah.
There's different sounds throughout the state.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely, I think it should be a collective.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like look
Yeah.
look at Chicago. Like, you have so many different dimensions of hip hop, from drill
Right.
to classical, like Chirac, like the Chicago, like Common type, like that type of like centric vibe,
Yeah.
to Kanye, to sampling, to that futuristic like Daft Punk, like
Yeah.
all over the place. Like, it's there's room for everybody. There's room
Right.
for everybody. That's just all I'm saying. That's the premise of my passion. There's room for everybody.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Sorry, man. Sorry. I just
it's gonna be a little hard to change the topic, but
Oh,
what I guess how could someone go about making their own sound? Like, is it pulling from different influences,
Yeah.
or is it just something that they have to feel?
I think it's a mixture of both, but I think also like a large percent of it is knowledge of self,
Okay.
and knowing, like, be true to yourself. Like Young Thug, he's so true to himself,
Yeah.
and that's why he's so dope. That's why he's just like, he don't care. Like, he gonna dress how he wants to dress. He's gonna
Yeah.
do what he wants to do, and like that's what I feel like that's what gave birth to his sound. So I
Yeah.
feel like once you really become true to yourself, and you know and you understand, like, yo, this is my lane. I'm more lyrical, or I'm more mumble. Even if it's mumble, if that's your lane,
Yeah.
that's what it is. I feel like it's a mixture of both of what you were saying. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. What kind of advice would you give someone that's pretty well established and they want to get to that next step?
I need that advice for myself.
you do?
I'm not well established by any means, but I'm just saying, like, I'm at the stage of my career now where I'm trying to get it to the next level, which is why, like, I've kind of started like making my own beats and taking piano classes and just submerging myself in as a student of music, because, like, I feel going to the next level, it's almost like it's like graduation. It's like school, you freshman, sophomore, junior. You just got to pass the grade that you're at now. Once you pass that and you get to the next one, it's the next level. So to answer that question, I feel like part of it is like really being a student, maybe per se, or like maybe just really understanding what it is you want, what it is that you want. Yeah, to get to the next level.
So probably just having like a good wealth of knowledge.
I think so, and like maybe like a sense of self, almost like a sense of thing, because I feel like maybe say someone who's a huge fan of Eminem,
Yeah.
so much to the point that you love Eminem so much that you sound like
Right.
Eminem. Like,
yeah.
like I love the fact that you love Eminem, but be true to you. Like, who are you? Who's the, like, like, because we already have Eminem. We've already seen Eminem. We want to know who this guy is. Like, I think that's how, like, people start forming their own sounds, and then, like, fans start picking in. It's like, yo, this is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. So how does one like develop a sense of self? Is it through literature? Is it meditation? Like, what is
wow.
it?
That's a great question. Honestly, man, I think honestly it's life, man. It's part of life. Like, I hate to bring him up again, but my friend Chris, who passed away, like, he's really one of my best friends, man. He taught me a lot about life, a lot about standing up for myself. Like, there was an incident. there was a quick story. There was an incident where a friend of mine did wrong by me. So me being who I am, like, I said, just let it go, whatever. But to my friends, it was like, nah, Muna, you can't let that happen to you, bro. And then through him teaching me that, like, that's me knowing self. That's me knowing, like, okay, I know that if someone not violates me, but if someone tries to discredit me or whatever it is, I have the voice. I know I can say something. I know I can speak up. So through him and just through going to school and my mom, my culture, everything, bro, I feel like that that all ties in with music. It all ties in with your sound. It all ties in with who you are, you are as a person. Yeah, so
Okay.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
All right. Like what kind of what kind of like connections are you trying to make right now
Oh,
in terms of getting yourself to the next level? You talking about making that graduation?
so like, as far as like music goes to the next level,
Yeah.
connections. I'm just like I'm trying to learn how to sell myself. I'm trying to learn how to, because people say, because like I feel like with me, a lot of I don't like to tell people I rap. I don't like to tell people that. I love it when other people say it for me. Like that's just me. Like I love it when someone says, "Yo, Muna rap. Yo, he's nice, man. He's
Right.
not." That's my validation. That's what it is. Because I hope my music can speak for itself.
Okay.
But as
Yeah.
far as like connections goes, I know like I have to like venture out, like meet with like maybe like like music business people who understand the music business, understand marketing, understand the value of a brand, like
Right.
the value of a brand. So I feel like that's the type of connection I would love to make as far as music goes to get me to the next level.
What speaking of like value of brand and like values in general, like what kind of values do you want to portray or do you already portray?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so as far as myself, I hope I come across as an honest man, a spiritual man, a loyal man, because loyalty is one of my core principles. Like you don't have to always like pledge yourself to something, but like if you say you're gonna do something, do it. Or if you say you're gonna be there for somebody, do it. So those type of principles I like to convey in my music. I don't like to degrade women. I don't like to feed false messages to black kids, to young kids, not just black kids, but just to young kids in general. I love speaking about my culture, my African culture, so that kids can understand like Africa is not bones. It's not that at all. Like it's the total contrary. Yes, we have villages, but the villages is like the ghetto. It's just like the ghetto. It's just low impoverished. It's just how it is. It's all over the world. But that's who I hope my fans, when they hear my music, I hope my fans, when they hear it, they're like, all right, Muna, this is the type of man he is, so therefore, that's why I rock with his music. That's why, I want to be around him. That's why I want to go to the concerts and things like that, listen to the music. That's my brand.
Right.
That's my brand. Yeah, that's my brand.
What's your passions outside of music?
Oh, I love drawing. I love to draw a lot, like sketching, predominantly sketching. I'm really into cooking now, Jamal. I'm really, really into cooking now, man. And it's crazy because I feel like I need to learn how to save money. I need to learn how to stack my money, and be less frivolous of going out and things like that. But then I've also learned like you can also apply creativity to cooking. You can also apply, things that like skills and like ideas and being innovative through cooking. And cooking is another one of my passions. That's another one. Oh, production, like me producing my own beats and piano. I love those. Like that's another one of my passions now. Like I find myself listening to samples and watching endless YouTube videos from like Black Milk. He's a producer. Ninth Wonder, Arab Music, like so many different producers. Just trying to learn from them. And then lastly, I think another one of my passions. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what my last passion would be. There's so many things I like to dabble in, but then once I get interested in it, I'm all in it. I'm all the way in it. So.
Okay. All right. Dope. Well, thank you for doing the interview again.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you, bro.
It's always a pleasure
great.
always
Thank you, man.
meeting up with you.
It's always great to meet up with you too, Jamal.
And we'll be sure to do many more.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Whenever you need me, Jamal, you don't even have to ask me. Just be like, yo, Muna, come out, or you come in it, whatever you want to do. I'm here, bro. I'm always here, Jamal.
Absolutely.
Keep jamming, everybody. Keep jamming. This is a real thing, y'all. This is a real thing. So please stay on high alert Stay woke. Don't fall asleep for too long.
Thank you, sir.
Much love, man.
So you got any shout outs?
Shout out to Salem State University.
Yeah.
Shout out class of 2018. Shout out to Chris Joyce. Shout out to all my boys, Harry, Johnny, Debo, Manny, Alvin, all my partners, Jay. Shout out to Jamal, of course. Shout out to the Jam Company. Shout out to Chicago, Akron. I got family in Chicago, and I also got family in Akron now. Shout out to Jamal. Shout out to the Boston Celtics. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. That's it, man. Thank you, Jamal, man.
Where can people find your music?
If you're looking for me, that's I'm pretty much available on all social media sites. My Instagram and Twitter is at Indigo Muna, INDIGO, Muna, MUNA, Indigo Muna. That's for Instagram and Twitter. My Facebook is facebook.com/theofficialmuna. Not the official, but official Muna. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Bandcamp too. If you're looking for me, like my entire discography, recent projects, albums, things like that, all on Bandcamp.com. So if you go on Bandcamp.com, type in Indigo Muna as well, you'll find me as well, all on there. And I don't really use SoundCloud like that no more because I feel like SoundCloud is like watered down a lot, and I feel like they get paid too much. Like I feel like they get paid more than artists do. So, and another thing too, if I could plug this in, if you're an upcoming artist and you're looking to get paid for your music, and I mean like you're looking to put music out and with the hopes of getting money back from fans and outside support, Bandcamp.com, y'all. Bandcamp.com. It's not about the money, but when you put into something, it's always nice to get rewarded, and Bandcamp rewards you. So for sure, definitely check that out if you're an up and coming artist, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Jamal.
It's a pleasure.
Peace and love. What's going on, everybody? This is Muna. And once again, keep jamming.